Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. So I hope you're all doing well. I didn't get round to doing part 2 of yesterday's reading. So it's interesting how the energy can just suddenly change. So sometimes there's a whirlwind of energy that comes and disrupts things for a while. So we have to allow for things to settle back down just for a little bit of time. Have you needed to change things around suddenly? Maybe so. So with the Sacred Rebels Oracle, let's pull us a message for the collective this evening. So what's your current energy? What's the most insightful guidance for you at this time? What's the most useful guidance for you at this time? Okay. So, our final shuffle. It's taken a few starts. Yes. It's taken a few starts. Okay. Has it taken you a few starts? So we already have our card, and we have card 11, Diving for Light. There we go. Diving for light. Diving for light. Does it feel deep down there? Card 14 at the bottom of the deck. Going beyond normal. Is it deep down there? Is it a bit deeper than your usual? Taking you a little bit out of the ordinary? Moving you towards something that's unique, original, different to the norm? Interesting. So as I've opened the page to card 14, let's begin by reading Going Beyond Normal. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. It is less about choosing to honour either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. Playing science, very interesting. Let's begin that again. Placing science or architecture above all else kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust, so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. Hello, little fly. There is a time and a place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools, intuition, feelings, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. The flowing, inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basis in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strict planning. On the other hand, gardening and art do provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time to draw upon reliable methods and to prepare with certain tools. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow, responsiveness, and trust in the creative process of bringing something to life. This leads to the cultivation of the most beautiful, abundant, and successful garden and the most vivid healing art. I'm being distracted by a little fly. Okay. Well, you are being asked to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life, your work, your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to the method of a gardener or an artist. There is a sense of what might work where, and a loose or even a detailed plan, but how the plan is carried out will depend on and respond to the flow of its surroundings. There is no need to control the situation, but rather a desire to nurture an idea to fruition. You may have pressures around you from the world or from your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules, to a deadline, or to the accepted mainstream view that you need a well thought out plan for success in a commercial venture. However, sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment and to trust that you are being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means you have to do far less planning and far more living. It is a pure and heart-centered way to manifest your art, your life path, and your essence into practical expression in the world. It involves a willingness to be led by nature instead of trying to control the powerful force of life, which is a bit like trying to fit a proverbial ocean in a teacup. It is far more intelligent to allow the ocean to be the ocean and to learn to swim in it rather than trying to cram it into a vessel that is much too small. This oracle brings you a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You are living on the border of what is socially accepted. This is good. This is fringe dwelling freedom. Others might not see this about you straight away, as you seem pretty normal, but that secret, eccentric streak is just waiting to show itself. And maybe you are an out and proud fringe dweller, completely comfortable with this way of being. Either way, this oracle brings you the message that you now have a chance to live from the heart more deeply and expressively than ever before. It wants you to realize that this is a legitimate, empowered, and creative way to live that honors all of who you are. You can give up forcing or squashing yourself down into a very limited set of so-called desirable qualities, like intellect and control. If you are yet to relate to this consciously, this oracle brings you the further message that you are going to be breaking with tradition, perhaps not entirely, but at least in a way that is meaningful to you. This will require you to have courage in your convictions and faith in your heart truths. This will help you and inspire others around you to step out of fear and live more freely and lovingly. You are not necessarily meant to abandon logic and intellect altogether. You are to use them to serve the desires of the heart, rather than to replace its naturally spontaneous and truthful nature with controlled planning and narrow strategy. It's time to get a bit wild and let nature take its course. Diving for the light. How brave you are. You are diving for light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly, in that which is blissful, sweet, loving and kind. To look for the light in that which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may not feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, yet you have taken this wise challenge on from deep within your soul. Your innermost being has evoked this situation in your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. More juice, please. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life and become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. The oracle of diving for light speaks of a time when you are called into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. That darkness might be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety. There may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness might be generally accepted and socially acknowledged because there is a socially acceptable or obvious reason for it, such as a death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You might not need a reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Just know that you are actually on track and right where you need to be. Our creative process and our spiritual path go through a similar turning of the wheel. There is spring and summer in the seasons of our soul, as well as in the earthly ones. There is the autumn harvest, and there is the death inherent in winter, when energy is concentrated and pulled within to seek out the darkness where it can rest, regenerate, and simply be, until the time is right for new life, energy, and creative inspiration to burst forth. When diving for light, one must be willing to bear the darkness and understand it has a purpose, much like winter does upon the earth. It is not in error or through lack of consciousness that you are now here. It is a testament to your spiritual growth and creative process, not a sign that they are lacking or stalling. The healing process below will help you with your inward plunging and to successfully navigate it. This oracle brings particular guidance that although you are powerful, you are also vulnerable at this time. You need to be alert to sabotage and criticism that may make your progress more difficult than it already is. That would be rather unnecessary. At least some of the people around you might be more attached to their fear and doubt than to their faith in your process and the ways of the creative, rebellious, spiritual path that asks us to trust unconditionally. They may be frightened due to a lack of understanding. You don't need to carry their fear for them. You have your own process to attend to, and they can choose to be inspired by your journey or frightened by it. They are free to respond as they wish, and whatever those responses are, they are part of their journey for them to work through. You also need to be vigilant against the darker forces within you. These are the voices that you may not expect, particularly if you are a pure-hearted being who typically resonates with love. These voices or feelings might surprise you with their dark intensity. They may be feelings of hate, terror, or of wanting only to sleep because anything further is all just too hard. They may contain vicious criticism of yourself or tell you that your inner creative work is pointless, unoriginal, not worth it, or stupid. These dark forces might try to tell you that you are on the wrong path, suggest that you will fail, or ask with great condescension, "Who the hell do you think you are?" Well, you must stay in your heart and not believe these dark forces. Stay in compassion. Fear creates the energy of anger, hate, and destructiveness. These forces are a part of life, but we don't have to be frightened of them, nor do we need to deny their existence or try to ignore them in order to find light in the darkness. We just need to hold compassion and be intelligently aware so we can avoid being seduced into the trap of needing to provide, to prove ourselves, or into the mistaken belief that we need to fight against darkness. It is too easy to get caught up in trying to heal the dark. Darkness just is. Recognize it when it is there and be in your compassionate heart. All you need to do is make a choice. Will you stay in your heart, or will you be seduced by darkness and overcome by hate or sleepiness? Diving for light is a spiritual test and a threshold for all true creative work. We successfully navigate our way through this test and pass the threshold into new creative birth by staying connected to the light of compassion in our own hearts. It is not an easy test, but it is one that you must be ready for, otherwise it wouldn't be coming to you now. Just remember, it is the light of the heart that sustains. It exists within us always, even in the darkest depths of unknown terrain. This oracle also comes with a special message. There is a darkness within or around you that could become problematic if left unchecked. If, for no particular reason, you find yourself feeling angry, irritated, hopeless, or tired more easily than usual, unable to rest, or it is just too much effort to exercise or take care of yourself, then this darkness is having an unnecessary effect on you. It is time to end that now from a place of compassion. The healing process below will empower you for that task. Don't be afraid. You are learning this lesson and the unending power of compassion because you are ready for it. Feel honoured by the lesson and stay humbly centred in your powerful, rebellious heart that refuses to be conquered by fear and remains faithful to love. All will be well. So if you would like to take part in this healing process to close out the reading, then please say the following aloud, whether it makes sense to you or not. I call upon the presence of unconditional love. Be here now, without restraint. Fill me and fill this space. Touch all beings with your grace. I feel the presence of unconditional love within me. I acknowledge the presence of unconditional love all around me. I am the presence of unconditional love, and in this love, no fear can remain. May unconditional love guide any fear back to the light of love and back into the earth as serves the greatest good. My body, mind, heart and soul are now completely bathed in and protected by unconditional love. Through my own free will, this is so. Repeat morning and night for at least 3 days and continue for as long as you wish and feels good for you. You may feel some reactions to this work. Fear, anger, or irritation may come up. You may feel an overwhelming need to go and do something that doesn't actually seem that important once you start doing it and could have waited 5 more minutes. You might feel nausea. You might also feel emotional with sadness or grief passing through you. These are all signs that your healing process is working on a darker energy and that the energy is releasing itself from you. Repeat this simple process until you feel clear. Don't be afraid to continue with it as much as is needed, especially if you live or work in a toxic environment with a lot of negativity, arguments, anger, or disturbances and cannot extricate yourself from that environment for a period of time for various reasons. If you feel you need additional help, seek out a reputable shaman or spiritual healer. Start with the internet searches or word of mouth referrals, then trust your instincts about who feels good for you to assist you. Well, I'm here. We're all here together. There is no need to fear or to feel burdened by this work. You are being drawn into this experience so that you are ready to experience more light. To be ready for that, we must be capable of handling equal darkness. Now is the preparation, soon the celebration will follow. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our message this evening. So thanks again for being here. And I shall see you again very soon. So much love. Take care. Bye for now.